I have a guest with me today. This is Buster. Buster, say hi to all my students. I thought that might make my recording a little bit more exciting this morning. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Hope everyone's doing well.
This is the end of the disc. The audiobook continues on the next disc.
War wasn't the only source of trouble in our lives. In the rainy season, the river would rise up and flood the streets, and we would have to leave home in a hurry. For some reason, the floods always happened in the middle of the night. We would hear the rushing roar of water coming, and my dad would lock up the house and get us all out of there to head for higher ground. Kiki would climb to safety at the top of the front gate. My first memory of being afraid in life was during one of those floods. I remember holding hands with one of my uncles and running as fast as I could uphill to escape the rising water. I ran so fast, it felt like my feet didn't touch the ground. My mom would soothe us. She was always a calming presence. In fact, she wrote a song for each of us kids with the lyrics predicting a happy fate. My song says, "In all that God has made, you're the most beautiful of all." In my language, it sounds like this. Mubyi Imana yaremye byose, nta kindi cyiza kukurusha. I was born with dark skin, but in my culture, light skin is considered a sign of beauty. So Mom wrote in my song that I would become fairer skinned. In fact, I did. It embarrasses me to think that skin color should have anything to do with supposed beauty. But that is the culture. For a time, my nickname became Mazobe, a term for fair skin. For my brother Alex, who was born small, my mom spun a song that he was kind-hearted and genuine and would grow up to become strapping and tall. And indeed, he did grow into a handsome, muscular young man. For my sister Deborah, Mom wrote that she was so beautiful, she would get at least 100 cows when she wed. The song said that anyone with 99 cows needn't bother. I'm sure that prediction would have come true too. In addition to the creative songs Mom wrote, she had an inherent sense of style, and she bought me the snazziest outfits. Sometimes she would pick fabrics of bright colors and patterns and take them to the tailor to have traditional cotton dresses made for me. Congo has some of the best, most fashionable tailors in the world. Other times, she would buy outfits from more Western-style stores. For every major holiday, Christmas, Easter, I would get a new outfit for church. It was always an exciting day to get new clothes and new shoes for the holidays. One year for Christmas, Mom bought me one of my favorite outfits, a pink polka dot skirt and top with a matching collar. She bought Deborah the same outfit in blue. My brother Chris took us on a walk around the neighborhood so we could show off our new clothes. We ended up coming home with 2 kids from the neighborhood, and they joined us for Christmas dinner. Once again, our doors were open. My family was Christian, and we went to church every Sunday. The service lasted all day long and involved lots of singing and clapping. Church was a major part of our community. Our people were close-knit, and everyone knew everyone's business. If you ever skipped services on a Sunday, people would ask, "Why weren't you in church?" Another big part of our community, and a personal favorite of mine, was an elaborate dance procession performed by the neighborhood kids. It was a glamorous reenactment of a wedding with a bride and groom, surrounded by dancing girls and drumming boys. The boys made the drums from empty cans of Nido, a powdered milk drink made by Nestle. To create the drums, the boys stretched thick plastic bags tightly across the tops of the cans, securing the bags with rubber bands. They used different sizes of cans, with each size creating a unique sound. The kids in the neighborhood all knew one another, and they raised money for the event, which was held several times a year. At the end of each performance, they hosted a reception serving rice and beans and Fanta and Coke in glass bottles. I couldn't wait to be old enough to participate. The kids would spend weeks choreographing the events and making up songs, and I would attend the rehearsals, dreaming of a day when I could be a dancer in the procession. I watched my sister Adele and her fabulous friends, wanting to be like them. On the day of the event, the kids, 12 dancing girls and 8 drumming boys, would march and twirl through the streets of the neighborhood, around 20 blocks in all, while families lined up to watch. The bride and groom would walk along at the center of the procession, with 6 girls in the front and 6 in back, and rows of boys on each side. The girls wore black t-shirts and bright, short-wrapped skirts to accentuate their butts, with spandex shorts underneath, stretchy and flexible for twerking. It was always sunny and hot, and everyone worked up a sweat. It was like a big moving concert. No one really knows how the tradition got started, but different neighborhoods each had their own processions. It was a way for kids to entertain themselves. Finally, when I was 10 years old, I got to take part in the fun. The kids made me the bride, which was embarrassing because that meant I would be paired with a boy as my groom. At that point in my life, I thought, ew, boys. My brothers and sisters teased me during the practice sessions where I sat with my groom, a boy named Marilyn, while the dancing girls learned their routines. I didn't want to be the bride. I wanted to dance. My brothers made my life a living nightmare with their taunting. Sandra, you might end up marrying that boy one day, Alex said. He worried that if he kept saying it, it might turn out to be true. However, on the upside, my mom bought me a beautiful light blue dress to wear for the performance. It was silky and puffy, like a dress for a princess, with a sash that tied in the back. On the day of the performance, my dad drove me to the starting point of the procession in his car, and my groom, Marilyn, came to take my hand. I was embarrassed and also laughing so hard I was about to cry. Marilyn was nervous too. I didn't talk to him at all. In fact, I barely looked at him. I didn't want anyone to think I liked him. As we began our slow march through the neighborhood streets, I felt jittery about being the center of attention, but also kind of thrilled. My groom and I walked side by side, silently. Our job was to look cute. I could feel everyone's eyes on me. I wanted to impress our audience and the older girls who danced. That was April 2004, around Easter time. It would be my first and last procession. I never got to be a dancer because a couple months later, we would be fleeing Uvira. Most of the girls who danced around me that day later died in the massacre.